In today's Leeds news, latest on Willy Nonto situation, Leeds weekend results, today's Rumour Mill, Loan Watch, and Jonjo Shelvey linked with move to Leeds. Hiya folks, Jay here on the 21st of August with your Leeds United news. 10 days left in the transfer window. Things expected to heat up for Leeds over the next 5 to 10 days. Leeds really need to start getting a move on, bringing in some bodies. There's a bit floating around, a lot of rumours starting to pop up now. Obviously Leeds have a couple of quid in the bank with Tyler Adams moving to Bournemouth, move being confirmed and finalised, which means that now we're being linked with every potential midfielder who's out of favour at every club. But we'll get into that in a bit more detail. We'll start off with the Willy Nonto situation, and we'll go through the events over the course of the weekend, because this has changed an awful lot. There's a lot of rumour, a lot of conjecture, a lot of in the nose making comments about this, but it's worth going through it in chronological order for a little bit. So we'll start off with this, and over the weekend there were lots of updates. Bild in Germany claimed that Everton is not Willy Nonto's preferred destination, and said they are claiming that it's actually German side Freiburg who the player wants to go to. According to Sky Sports, though, they have said Leeds have rejected 4 separate bids from Everton for Gnonto, the most recent being a £25 million bid plus add-ons. Freiburg has claimed to have checked on Willy Nonto's situation, and Leeds have acknowledged this, and Freiburg have now acknowledged Leeds' situation as the player is not for sale. Freiburg, as a result, have now said to have moved on to other targets. Fabrizio Romano tweeted on Saturday that Leeds' position on the player has not changed despite Everton's 4 bids, and he says that Leeds are still in the same situation despite the fact that Willy Nonto handed in a transfer request an hour and a half before kick-off on Friday. Leeds United's stance is still the same: the player is not for sale. Then on Sunday, Corella dello Sport claimed that Willy Nonto had been offered to Roma by his agent, but they were not convinced a deal could get done. Roma are chasing a striker to replace Tammy Abraham, and dello Sport claimed that Gnonto is someone that they're very interested in. However, Roma would like the option of a loan move with an option to buy the player. We've seen this from Roma before with Llorente last year, with the option that they never then took up and got the player again on loan this season. They got 2 Leeds players on loan as it is. That won't happen. Sunday, Atalanta in Italy were then linked with the player. They said to be exploring the possibility of a signature for the player and having a look at signing Willy Nonto. No update on that one at all. This morning, the Daily Mail claimed that talks between Leeds United and Everton that took place over the weekend have now officially broken down. And Leeds' stance again is said that player is not for sale. That's the latest on the situation. I would be shocked if Willy Nonto doesn't leave Leeds. Everton are expected to bring in a fair chunk of money for Demarai Gray. That could be spent then on a striking replacement. However, they are also looking at Shea Adams as well for $15 million from Southampton. That move is expected to take place and happen. Jack Harrison's already gone to Everton, so if you're looking at the options that they've got there, they brought in a winger, they're bringing in a striker, so it could be the end of Willy Nonto to Everton, but we'll have to wait and see. I'd be shocked if he doesn't end up there at the end of this window, but I just think it's important that Leeds get what they can for the player, what they want, and not what Everton want to give Leeds. It's important. Let's go through some results over the weekend, not just the first team. Obviously, the first team had a draw against West Brom. Lovely header from Luke Ayling, so thanks for that, Luke. Cracking header at the back post. The under-21s, they had their second game, kicked off away from home to Manchester United and came away with a 2-1 victory over Manchester United. Goals from Sean McGurk and Connor Douglas there, with giving Leeds the win. It was 1-1. Leeds managed to get the win. Sean McGurk's step over, by the way, for the second goal, for Douglas's goal, is worth watching. So if you haven't seen the highlights, you can head over to leedsunited.com and you get to see them there. It's really worth watching. The Leeds women team opened their campaign to the season with a 2-1 win over Stockport. Jess Rossier won the goals there, and Danielle Witham with the other goal for Leeds. Again, 1-1 at half time before Witham stepped up with the winner for Leeds United. Great result for the Leeds women's team and Rick Passmore's side, who get their campaign off to a winning start. And in other winning news, the Leeds United under 18s had a 4-1 win against Liverpool. 2 goals from new signing Josh McDonald. Leighton Brown also gets on the score sheet with 1 as well, and Harvey Vincent with 1 as well. Also in the U ranks we're talking about, again, keep mentioning the name Finlay Gorman. Finlay Gorman has been called up to the England under 16 team for friendlies against Italy. It should be pointed out again, Finlay Gorman is 14. So that's an incredible incredible achievement for Finlay Gorman. So congratulations, Finlay Gorman. Moving on, let's talk about some rumour mill territory. There's a lot going around here. We'll start off with a short one. And Ilan Meslier, according to Football League World, they say that Ilan Meslier will still leave Leeds United before the transfer window closes. He has been linked with a whole host of clubs across Europe again, but as a backup option for most of them. And Meslier has said he has no intention of leaving to play as a backup goalkeeper. He would if he was number one. So at the moment, we'll keep an eye on that one. But a lot of people are saying Carl Darlow is expected to be Leeds United number one, and that Ilan Meslier is expected to move on from the club. So I'll have to see there. Moving on, and let's talk about Pinter Style territory. We'll talk about Football Insider. They are claiming that Josh Sargent at Norwich is very keen on a reunion with Daniel Farke and is keen on a move to Leeds United. The American striker didn't have a great season last season, but in context of a poor Norwich side last year, he did still manage to score 13 goals and 40 appearances for Norwich last year. This season has started off much better for the player. He's already got 2 goals and 1 assist in his first 3 games of the season for Norwich, so good for him. Josh Sargent's a very good striker at this level. It's yet to be proven whether he can do it in the Premier League, but he is a good striker for the Championship. Whether he's what Leeds need or not, I don't know. I don't think it'd be a hugely popular move if he did come in, but it should be said that Josh Sargent's not a bad striker. He really isn't. He had a bad time in the Premier League, but then did her Norwich side did as well, so there's that. Moving on, according to Spanish publication AS, Leeds, along with 8 other clubs, are now interested in Granada's Albanian winger Mitro Uzuni. The player, 28-year-old Albanian, scored 23 goals last season as Granada got promoted to La Liga. So I think Granada are involved with the Polo family at Watford as well. So you'd imagine it was an easier move for them to bring him to Watford, but there is a €25 million release clause in the player's contract, so you can knock that one on the head straight away. Leeds are not going to be buying any players for 20 or 25 million this summer. And then speaking of £20 million players, the fee for Aston Villa striker Cameron Archer has been revealed, and what we could expect to pay from Villa, unwilling to accept anything less than £20 million for the player, so that one's probably dead in the water as well. Before we get on to Loan Watch, because I'm going to finish with Loan Watch, because some people want to know about the players that have left the club and others don't. So I'll finish with Loan Watch. But before we get to Loan Watch, we'll finish off with the another massive pinch of salt. Team Talk, who again, I think they've only been right about one thing, and that's Bournemouth and Tyler Adams, but that was pretty common information at the time. They are claiming that Leeds are considering a move for out of favour Nottingham Forest midfielder Jonjo Shelvey. Shelvey played 8 times last season for Forest and is currently out of the squad, completely training on his own. This is said to be due to personal issues with the management team behind the scenes. He's been separated from the squad by the management team and won't play for Forest again. So according to Team Talk, Forest are very open to offers for the player, and he could move, but I would be shocked if Leeds bring a player who is problematic at best in the dressing room and Jonjo Shelvey into Leeds. But this is what I'm saying. Leeds have got money burning a hole in their pocket now from Tyler Adams, and will be linked with every out of favour potential Championship level midfielder. If you're going for anyone from Nottingham Forest in midfield, it should be Lewis O'Brien. That would be the obvious one. And then to wrap up today, we'll finish off with Loan Watch, and we'll get into this now. Okay, start us off here, and Max Wober played 90 minutes in Gladbach's 4-4 draw against Augsburg. Good start for him. Diego Llorente played 90 minutes for Roma in the 2-2 draw with Salernitana. He assisted Roma in their first goal in that game. Rasmus Christensen also played in that game, played 65 minutes, was heavily criticised by fans after the game, and he basically stated his quality isn't good enough. 73% passing accuracy during that game for him. Brendan Aronson, 75 minutes in Union Berlin's 4-1 win at home to Mainz. Aronson was recorded with a 6.3 rating out of 10. He managed no assists, no shots at all on goal, no key passes. He had a 64% passing accuracy and managed 4 successful tackles from 11 attempted and 9 successful passes from 14 that he attempted. Considering the result in that game, for the number 10 to not be involved is not great. Marc Roca, on the other hand, played 90 minutes last night for Real Betis against Atletico Madrid and was labelled as one of the standout performers in that game with an 86% passing accuracy for him. So a strong start for Marc Roca, not so strong for Aronson, Christensen yet. But Wober and Llorente started well. And that'll be it for today, folks. I will hopefully have some news on some signings over the course of this week. Hopefully. And we'll be back to normal with the podcast at the end of the week as well. We'll get that sorted out before the end of the week as well. And that'll be it for today. Have a really good day. Fingers crossed for some news over the next 24, 48 hours. And I will talk to you tomorrow morning for morning Leeds news. Have a great day. Bye.